Today, other interesting business news, you have Johnson& Johnson changing their logo after the company has split. Now, they actually split, a 136-year-old company. They split earlier this year, actually in August, due to a myriad of controversies, the number one being the baby powder, in which it actually caused cancer. Which again, I don't know why. I can't fathom a more useless product than disposable diapers and baby powder. It's ridiculous. And it's hilarious the same people who care about the environment will buy a truckload of disposable diapers, which are terrible for landfills. I say go to retro, just get the cloth. But I know they never will, because most of them are pure hypocrites. They don't really care about the environment. They just want virtue signal. But nevertheless, I digress. It looks like the maker of the Band-Aid, Tylenol, and other household parts, including the Johnson's baby powder, they'll now operate independently as a company known as Kenvue, Kenvue, which is perhaps the most uninspiring name on the planet. I believe they actually had a contest or had some computer pick it out. They couldn't have done something. You don't have to be a marketing major to just think, well, why don't we have two businesses, Johnson & Johnson Enterprise and Johnson & Johnson Home? Again, I took 18 seconds to think of that, but they probably spent a disproportional amount of capital to have someone think of that new one. Ridiculous to say the least. Now, you do have Johnson & Johnson, the company that gets to keep it. They'll be known for working on the more higher margin products, such as the prescriptions, the medicines, and all the medical devices. But even with that company, they changed the font. Perhaps another sign of a lazy and inept culture. Cursive is too hard for people these days. It's too hard to learn. And Johnson & Johnson, their signature, quite literally, their signature logo was their signature. It was one of those brilliant things where sometimes there is a certain beauty and simplicity, and it became ingrained in American culture. It's synonymous. If you look at a Band-Aid or, again, anything, you go to a drugstore, if you're hurt, you'll see that cursive name. You even see it on household cleaning products too. And I think they have one or two cleaning products, but I partially digress. They changed the logo from having this, traditional, time-proven cursive font logo to now it's just box lettering. Again, something as uncreative as I could possibly think. They just changed the font a little bit to make it more boring, so people they can't put a modicum of thought into life. They can't have cursive. They have to have the Danielian. Really? And it's also one of those things where you don't even have to know the whole alphabet in cursive to know their logo. It's not that complex. And I know cursive, in terms of the daily usage of it, it might not be that practical. It's hardly used at all. But it was almost kind of like a classy thing, in my opinion, for the logo of Johnson & Johnson. And again, you've had it for years. You know how long it takes to build brand loyalty? Sometimes decades. And yet they threw it all out to have now something that some people on the LinkedIn are comparing the new logo to a law firm because it's so unambiguous and boring. It's very basic. Will this hurt their sales? In the short term, probably not. But in terms of their brand awareness, which again, sometimes companies spend literally billions to make sure you remember the exact font and cursive of like the Coca-Cola logo. But when it comes to Johnson & Johnson, I think it'll be a long-term deterioration on the brand. And again, they're breaking away. I don't know if they claim they're going after the Gen Z or the Gen XY, Beta, Theta. I don't know what they call them now these days. But they're trying to go after that target market, and I can't help but think, you don't always have to dumb it down for them. You could just keep the logo that's been around forever and they recognize it. But I moderately digress. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, I know it's ambitious trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September, so if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, the comments help the channel grow and develop. All the critique is greatly appreciated as I try to do everything from enunciate more, slowing down my voice, and still searching for better software so we can do the picture-in-picture with the video. I tried another one, but I don't know if it's because of my newer 4K camera. It keeps crashing. So if you have suggestions, I would greatly appreciate them. And of course, don't forget to take the time to like the video because that helps with the algorithm and gives me feedback on if I need to maybe do something a little bit better. And also, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.